Well, hello, my honor students. Hey, another Friday is here, and realize next Friday is May. Oh my goodness, what do we have, 5 or 6 weeks left? Now, realize I expect you to be watching everything I put out there, and you might want to watch it more than once. And notice, like yesterday, I made 2 videos. The second one was only about 90 seconds to tell you that, remember, we had a quiz on Thursday, and my high school kids, fantastic. My 8th graders, I had 8 people that didn't do it. Oh, you can do it today, but I'm probably taking points off. Now, today we're going to have 2 videos. Now, I'm going to tell you your homework now. What I'd like you to do is review. We're going to have 2 videos today, and I'd like you to review this weekend. Now, my high school kids, they're telling me that with Schoology, if you re-download the tests and quizzes, I wrote on them and sent them back. So you can download them again and see where you made your mistakes, if you made any. Some of you are at 100%. Holy cheese in a bucket. Okay, first I want to start off with quadrantal angles and trig functions. So our homework, we had a negative 270. So I don't know why, I've always liked to make a drawing. So negative means we're starting at the positive x-axis going in this direction. Negative 270 would be right there. Negative in this direction, 270, 90, 180, 270. Now, when you're dealing with quadrantal angles, you just pick a point 1 unit from the origin. Now, notice there's only 4 that you pick. So there's an infinite number of numbers, because every 360 you get a coterminal angle, so another one you can find, but there's actually only 4 values that are different. So this would be 0, 1, and R is 1 because it's 1 unit up. Now remember, R can never, ever, ever be negative or 0. R is always positive. Now, it should be 1 for what we're doing, but okay, so if you know the trig, so cosine, now if it's negative, you're supposed to put it in parentheses. Cosine is x over r. Now, we would have had 3 or 4 pop quizzes if we had class, but I can't really give you a pop quiz now, just to do it out loud. So, x over r would be 0 over 1. Now, sine and cosine are never undefined. Never. They always have a definition to it. They're always defined. The other 4 can be undefined, 0 on the bottom. So sine is y over r. 1 over 1 is 1. Now, this would be the same as cosine 90 and sine 90, because that's a coterminal angle. And it's quadrantal. So tan is y over x. 1 divided by 0 is undefined. I don't know why my iPad is showing a yellow mark. So I don't know what I did. Now, secant's the reciprocal of cosine. So secant of negative 270 would be reciprocal. Oh, that's undefined. Cosecant's the reciprocal of sine. So that would be a 1, and cotangent's reciprocal, so that'd be 0. So let's look at 0 degrees. That's the other one of our homework. Now, I'm not going to do 540 because I did that in the video yesterday, but 0 degrees would be right at our starting point, and that would be 1, 0. So, let's see, cosine of 0 degrees. Let's move this over. There we go. That's a little better. I don't know why it's a bad picture. I'm going to have to do something. So, cosine's x over r. So, it'd be 1. Oh, r is 1 because we went 1 unit from the origin. Now, if we did 2, 0, which you're really not supposed to do, but then r would be 2 because that's 2 units from the origin. Now, we can do this because it's straight to the right or straight up on an axis. Quadrantal angles. So cosine 0 would be 1 divided by 1, which is 1. Sine 0 degrees would be a 0 divided by 1. Now, Monday, I plan to give you a worksheet through the computer. And then tangent is a y over x, so 0 over 1 is 0. Cosine, the reciprocal is secant. Secant of 0 is 1. Cosecant, the reciprocal of sine, so cosecant of 0 is undefined, and cotangent would also be undefined. Now, what about if we have angles that are not on an axis? Well, we can't pick a point because it's going in 2 directions. See, if it's just right, then we only have to worry about going to the right, or straight up, we only have to, but this is going in 2 directions. So they found another way to find trig functions. And what they discovered is there's a pattern to the trig functions, such that all the cosine repeat again from 0 to 90, from 90 to 180, and 180 to 270. Same with sine, same with the other trig functions. So they just had to find the pattern. What they discovered is that a reference angle will always give you the same measure for the trig functions. Oh my, Mr. Murphy, what's a reference angle? Well, a reference angle, and I'm going to abbreviate, is an angle that's between 0 and 90. I guess I should write between. And it's the angle made with the terminal side and closest x-axis. So let's do a couple of those, and then we're going to actually use it. So let's say this is 30 degrees. And I'd say, what's the reference angle? What's the terminal side with the closest reference of x-axis, closest x-axis, which in this case would be 0. That's the closest. So that would be a 30-degree angle. So this angle and a reference angle is the same thing. What if I had this? To save paper, I'll go over here. This angle, 120 degrees. And I said, well, what's the reference angle? Now, we're going to use it in a minute, so don't panic. But the reference angle is made with the terminal side and the closest x-axis. Well, how many degrees would be between here and here if this is 120? Well, 180 is the whole thing, so this would be 60. So the reference angle, whatever that is, we're going to use it in about 5 minutes, would be 60 degrees. Okay. So, if I have 240 degrees, what would the reference angle be? Well, the reference angle is made with the terminal side and the closest x-axis. So how many degrees is in there? Well, hopefully you'd say 60 would be the reference angle. And we're going to use it in a minute, so don't panic. So how many degrees is between the terminal side and closest x-axis? So 240 has a reference angle of 60 degrees. Now don't panic, I'll tell you what that is in a minute. So, okay, let's say I do this. A negative 150. Ooh, that's horrible. It's worse. I'm done with that. There we go. So let's say negative 150. What's its reference angle? Well, the reference angle is made between the terminal side and the closest x-axis, which in this case is 30 degrees. On to video number 2.